Hello, I am Charlene Sebastian, and I'm from Group 8. My other group members who were not able to make it here today are Paolo Leon, Erico Lucas, and Miguel Cabeza. And I am here to discuss with you women leaving STEM. And this is to address that women do not usually stay in the STEM fields. And to give you a brief rundown on why women are leaving STEM, it's because there's a lack of support in the work environment. And this is because women often experience isolation. There's a lack of mentorship, and there's even a limited professional development opportunities compared to male colleagues. There's male biases and discrimination, where there's gender bias, unequal advancement opportunities that often lead to departure and dissatisfaction for the women. There's work-life balance challenges that women often face, and this is because there's a lack of family-friendly policies. There's an expectation for women to be overworked, and this affects especially those who have caregiving responsibilities. Also, there's the cultural and organizational culture where it is hostile, and or there's a male-dominated culture that leads to women feeling excluded. They feel harassed or even like burnt out. There's also, in addition to that, a limited amount of role models for women in STEM. Because there's not many women in STEM, there's a limited amount of role models. So there, for those younger generations, are feeling like discouraged for long-term advancements in the field, in STEM fields. Lastly, there's also imposter syndrome and confidence gaps. And for those that don't know, imposter syndrome is basically when societal stereotypes and the lack of reinforcement just leads to self-doubt. And this is a syndrome that is highly among women, even those who are very capable, even those women who are very capable. So those are the reasons why women are leaving STEM. Here today, I had brought a guest with me. Her name is Isabella Principe. She is a medical physicist. She had gone to the University of Pennsylvania, where she had completed her medical physicist program. And so here she is.
Hello.
Hello, Isabella. I'm going to be asking you a couple questions. To start off, were you aware about how many women would start in STEM but then leave?
No, I was not aware about it.
Okay, and before I'd mentioned it, did you know why women are leaving STEM?
I think women are leaving STEM because there's a lot of discrimination and mistreatment from the men coworkers in the field.
And also, what is your role in STEM? I know I already mentioned it, but maybe you can just...
So I'm a medical physicist, and I work closely with medical dosimetrists and radiation oncology.
Okay, and what challenges did you face as being a woman in STEM?
So some challenges that I would face in the field as a woman in STEM are discrimination, gender bias, and stereotypes.
Okay, and have you seen any progress in women in STEM, or more specifically, have you seen any progress in gender equality over the years?
As far as gender equality in the field of women in STEM, I've seen a small increase.
Okay, and what made you want to be in the STEM field?
What made me want to join the STEM field is that I really love physics and everything about it is just interesting to me.
Okay, thank you. And have you ever faced imposter syndrome? If you have, how did you handle that? Like, how did you manage it?
Yes. So I struggle with imposter syndrome every day, and how I cope with this is that I go to see a professional therapist weekly and I talk to my partner about it.
Thank you for that. And how do you think women in STEM can uplift and support each other?
A way that women can support each other and uplift each other is by having an all women um, group or club for those in STEM, so that women are able to be more comfortable in the work environment.
Okay. And what do you think is the best, or what is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
So the best piece of advice that I've ever received is to focus on yourself and not to focus on other people around you. It's all about you, and to never be afraid to ask for help.
Thank you. And sorry, last question. You're doing so great. If you could change one thing about the STEM field industry today, what would it be?
I would educate more men in the field about how important it is to change gender bias and how harmful gender stereotypes are in the field towards women.
Okay, thank you so much, Isabel, for your time and for your responses here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, it's Charlene Sebastian, and I am here back with another guest. This is Caitlin Data, and she is currently going to the School of Yale, and her current major is neuroscience. Okay, I'll be asking you a couple questions. And so, first question to start off with, were you aware about how many women would start in STEM and then leave?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and do you know why women are leaving STEM? I mean, did you know before I had explained it to you?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your role in STEM currently?
So I'm currently in neuroscience, where I study the brain, and hopefully I get into a surgical room and I'll do neurosurgery.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Thank you. And what challenges do you face being a woman in STEM?
There's definitely a lot of challenges in a sense of gender bias, discrimination, a lot of expectations, right? Because I don't think women are supposed to even hold a knife, let alone even work in a hospital. It's always like, oh, we become nurses, or like there's not many opportunities for us.
Okay.
So a lot of like, oh, we should stay home and take care of the kids or stuff like that. So
Okay, thank you for that. And what do you think needs to change to make STEM more inclusive for women?
I think we definitely need more support from both or all genders. But definitely just a lot of support and opportunities to just give like a women chance to show up for themselves, and to prove that they're able to, you know, study science, math, and everything, that like to all help us work together to be a community, not just men inclusive.
Okay. And also, have you seen any progress in gender equality in STEM over the years?
I want to say yes and no, but there has been a little improvements, but there's still more to come.
Okay. And what made you want to be in STEM?
What made me want to be in STEM? Well, a lot of my parents' influence, especially my dad. I've always wanted to study the brain because of him. and everything that he's like gone through with, mental illness. And so it just made me want to learn more of I guess the more like the engine of it, like of the brain, like why things are happening a certain way, not just like emotionally or mentally, but actually like what neurons are, connected to what triggers this and triggers that. So that's what got me into it.
Okay. And have you ever faced imposter syndrome? And if you have, how did you manage that?
Yes, I have. Definitely talking to your peers helped me manage, and just like even taking a step back if I need to, or just taking a break, or like some breaths at a time, just like encouraging myself. And then having like my friends or my peers just around, and like just knowing that like we're all struggling too was also helpful.
Okay. And how do you think women in STEM can uplift and support each other?
I think we just need to encourage each other. Maybe like have more groups, or just talk more, instead of just being like, oh, I can do this all by myself, but actually like ask for help and lend a hand when you see someone that is struggling.
Okay. And what's the best piece of advice you have ever received?
I think the best piece of advice that I've ever received, I think till this day, is that everyone is human. Like, we are all born on this same earth. We all have duties to fulfill, and we're all just trying to make a living, and everyone is human. We all have emotions. We all go through a lot of struggles, but we just need to strive and help each other, because at the end of the day, like, we need to all work as a community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And last question. If you could change one thing about the STEM industry today, what would it be?
Ooh, I would say maybe more opportunities. Yeah, more opportunities for everyone, I guess. I know there's already a lot of opportunities, but just on top of my head, I would say more opportunities, maybe like more affordable opportunities. That would be nice. But yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and your responses, Caitlin Data.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and based on Ms. responses, I think it is clear to say that Ms. Principe did experience, like some of the factors that we had mentioned in the beginning, about like the gender biases, how the male culture or the male dominated cultures can affect, women in STEM, because it can lead to them leaving. There has been an increase in women being in STEM, but as she said, she's only over the years seen a small increase. So I think if we were to maybe even implement some of her ideas, which was like creating that program for, women primarily, like a group of women who can like support each other, I think that may be able to help. I think there's a lot of things that we can do to improve women staying in STEM, a lot of things that we as a culture and society we can work on. Thank you.